Hello, everybody, and welcome into the Manny Rays NOMA Truck Series live from Hollywood. That's right, we are at Auto Club Speedway, and we got a good one on tap for you here tonight. Thank you all so much for tuning in. You are watching Austin Green on Ghost Racing Network. Drivers have just wrapped up qualifying, getting gridded up, and getting ready to go. So as we will join them up here in the booth, let's get things rolling tonight with your starting grid. Taking the pole, it's going to be Joey Hickox for Venom Racing. Puts down a heater of a lap, rolling off on his outside. The outside pole, 2 weeks now. A great qualifying effort yet again for Russ Kilgore. Chase Greer back in third. It's going to be Zach Stevenson fourth. Justin Bentley fifth. Haas Beverly in sixth with Bill Hales in seventh. Justin Parman eighth. Keith Prince ninth. And Nick Wood rounding out your top 10. Moving on back to row 6, it's going to be Ryan Gomes and Richard Hurst. Good to see him making an appearance back in the field here tonight in the 21 machine. Back in 13th, it's Mark Beverly, followed by Sam Boutwell in 14th. Row number 8 is going to be Brody Benty and Wesley Phillips. Jay Stinson 17th, Kevin Winker in 18th, Dylan Paws in 19th, and Riley Gomes rounding out your top 20. Michael Lawrence, Derek Catt making up row 11, Aiden Lunn, and J.R. Schomburg in row 12. David Traylor will start back in 25th with Ronnie Morrison in 26th. Corey Buskirk in 27th, Matthew Fritz in 28th. 29th, rounding out the field tonight, is going to be Joseph Fogg in the 37 truck. It's the Blue Ridge Auto Group 180 here tonight. That will be the distance in miles. In terms of laps, breakdown is 90 laps, the total scheduled distance. Again, as always here in the Truck Series, 75% fuel, 6 sets of tires in total, 1 fast pair of fixed setups as always. Stage 1 will come at the end of lap 20, stage 2 at the end of lap 45, and then 3 green-white checkers as well if we were to need those. All right, well, the field here going to be in the hands of 2 of the best when it comes to mile-and-a-half or greater tracks. The bread and butter here at the NOMA Truck Series. We're back at it tonight with what is going to be another good one. Here we go. Pace car is going to make the left turn down to the pits for the first time here tonight. Noticing a little stuttering right now. We'll see if we can get that issue resolved. Not sure what the problem is, but nonetheless, here we go. You've been waiting for it. Time is here. We are racing at Hollywood. Lap 1 complete. It is going to go to the 3 truck of Joey Hickox on the outside. Russ Kilgore trying everything, though, to fight back on the inside. Now, I know I said the drop of the green racing at Hollywood. We're racing in Hollywood, of course, at Auto Club. And one of the tracks that is so unique because it's 2 miles in length, but the big thing that separates it from a lot of the tracks on the schedule is how wide it is here, how many grooves you can run. Russ Kilgore demonstrating all of that as he takes the lead on lap number 2 on the inside. Justin Bentley working just behind. Boy, remember how close Bentley came last week at Old Atlanta, looking to see if he can capitalize here tonight. Ooh, Joey thought about splitting 3 wide. That hole quickly closed up between the back bumper of Russ Kilgore and Justin Bentley, but now as Bentley fades low, Joey trying to do the same, 3 wide into turn number 1. The 16 on the bottom, the 3 in the middle, the 4 up top. Now Joey Hickox is going to reclaim the lead as they exit turn number 2. Zach Stevens, Justin Parham getting lined up. They're going to try to draft up to this group. A couple others behind Keith Prince. Just behind him, the 02 machine, Nick Wood. Different looking scheme for Nick Wood here tonight, but a good looking one at that. And then the 21 of Richard Hurst, who again, haven't seen here for a few races in the NOMA Truck Series, but it's good to see him back here tonight. And the broadcaster for the NOMA Super Speedway Series likes to get himself out here, try to get some practice. Make sure he can stay on the same page as everybody else here so that he knows how to commentate the moves these guys make on the Monday nights. The 47 of Sam Boutwell currently running just behind the 22 of Haas Beverly. By the way, Sam Boutwell has picked up 6 positions from where he started this race at just 4 laps in. Joey Hickox, now that he's established that lead, the question is, how long can he hold on to it? We didn't talk too much about the weather in the race info, but currently 2-mile-an-hour wind's not a factor. Temperature outside 72 degrees, and that translates all the way down to track temp which is also currently sitting at 72 degrees, so there should be plenty of grip out there. In the early portion of this run, it will be full throttle with these trucks, the draft being, of course, the great equalizer. As we view the speeds these guys are running down in the corner, about 183 miles an hour there for Joey Hickox, and you can hear it there by running the top lane of this racetrack, at least for now, in the somewhat early portions of the going still. He's full throttle. Bentley's going to make the move, gets clear off of 2, but Joey's going to hit the crossover move on him, and he's going to try to give him a fight back to the inside down into turn number 3. Still side by side, the 3 going to be able to get clear. I mean, you got to kind of think that the biggest move area, if you will, is going to be getting down into turn 1. That's where you're carrying the most speed, so if you're going to try a dive bomb or a slide job to the inside, that's the best place to do it. Justin Bentley's going to try to do just that here. Watch what he does. Make sure he stays right on the door till they get to the corner. Then he arcs it all the way down to that white line. Trying to wrap the white and see if he can get clear of the 3 truck on exit. He's going to. Good move that time, but you see the run that Joey Hickox gets. Runs the momentum by being higher on the racetrack. Gets that momentum, rather, down the straightaway. Russ Kilgore still fighting hard in that 3rd position out just behind him. A couple guys to keep your eye on here. First up, it's Chase Greer in the 8. A little bit of a different looking scheme for him tonight. May have brought a new sponsor on board. Zach Stevens, Justin Parham. All these guys going to be probably saving some tire because, again, as fast as the pace is now and while the draft is keeping everybody up here in tow, you're going to need to save tire for later in the run when the pace starts to fall off a little bit. But right now, especially before we get to that stage break, everybody knowing that there's pace, still gripping these tires, and you're trying to get as many positions as you can in order to indeed pick up some of those stage points. Going to go further back towards the field. Here's a 3-wide battle. The 31 in the middle, Jay Stinson. Not really anywhere to go, at least not for the moment. He is running on the outside of Riley Gomes. You see the 99 up top. That's Dylan Paws just in front of him. Kevin Winker with a new scheme, maybe a new sponsor as well here tonight. 42 machine, the Carson Hocevar lookalike scheme for him tonight. And oh man, that 3-wide action starting to get dicey there. Stinson and Riley Gomes. Bang doors getting down into turn number 1. And it looks like now the 9, oh man, I was going to say he's going to get the better of Stinson here as he gets clear, but he wasn't quite able to. So they're going to stay 3 wide. Trailer going to press the issue here, 4 wide. Stinson's got to tuck back and line behind Stinson. They go back to 3 wide, now making a row back. And so trying to make the move work on the inside was David Trailer. Michael Lawrence stuck on the outside. This is phenomenal racing that we're getting here in the early going at Auto Club. Sam Boutwell there in the 53 of Bill Hales, both on the inside to the 69. As we go up even further here, actually that might have been the 63. I take that back of Brody Benty. You see Joey Hickox still leading, but you could see, I mean, nobody's gone away. In fact, it looks like as it stands right now, all the way back to about 12th position, make it top 11 rather, are all within a second of your leader. Throw them all under a blanket. And that's going to stay more so the same. Probably through the entirety of this first stage. Again, not expecting any pit stops here through stage number 1, with it only being 20 laps total in distance. It's just all about trying to get that track position, get yourself set up for stage number 2, which is just 5 laps longer than stage 1, but with the caution laps is ultimately going to be probably about the same distance. And of course, the ultimate goal is to get yourself set up for that final green flag run scheduled at the conclusion of stage number 2, which would be right about 45 laps, more like 40 by the time we went back green. And that would be the one where we are expecting a pit stop. But now officially, when they cross the line this next time, going to be halfway through stage number 1. Single file for your first 3 trucks. After that, Russ Kilgore. First man looking to the inside here on the 8 of Chase Greer. Justin Bentley, he'll make another move back to the low side. Kilgore, so much speed at Atlanta, not only last week, but of course in the All-Star race last season. And he has been getting, I mean, I know I keep bringing up Atlanta, but just in general, he's been getting better and better. It seems like each race that we've come to this season, the Ford continues to put himself more and more at the front of the field and more in the conversation. I think it's just a matter of time before we see Russ Kilgore capture his first regular season win here in the NOMA Truck Series. Richard Hurst in the 21. He's got the NOMA TV logo on the side. Sonic Graphics Design, one of the sponsors for the Asphalt Outlaw Racing Truck Series. Ooh, stack up top. Hold your breath for just a moment as Hurst has to check up. Now he's going to start to cross it back down to the bottom. You see Wesley Phillips and Zach Stevens on the bottom with that 2-truck tandem. But while the draft is still playing a factor, what we are starting to see a little bit of now is that single file train forming up top. That is the first sign that these tires are starting to fall off ever so slightly Stevens and multiple others still trying to get something going down through the corners, but as we get onto the straights, again, everybody getting in that single file formation, that long single file line, if you will. And now the battle for the lead is back on between Joey Hickox and Justin Bentley. Bentley on the inside, Joey Hickox on the outside, the 3 truck. He's been able to make the top work. I mean, it's a good place to play defense because you have the option of not only the crossover move, but if you can keep the guy from getting clear in the corner, you know you're going to have the momentum to carry and get back clear down the straightaway. Bentley thought about maybe tucking up for a side wrap, but instead he'll just tuck in line. 13 laps now complete here at Auto Club. We still got some more things to talk about throughout the broadcast, but right now focused on all the action going on track. Mark Beverly in the 97. He'll pick up another position from his teammate there, Haas Beverly, going to try to slide in line. Haas not going to cut him any slack. The 22 is able to stay to the outside of the 97 for now. Brody Benty in the 63 in this mix. There's Dylan Pause, Kevin Winker, both working the top lane for the moment. And the 42's got a run here, maybe a push as well from the 2 of J.R. Schauber, who's making his first start here of the night. JR with a pretty good run so far. It looks like he's picked up 7 positions from where he started this race at. And that's only in the first stage, only 14 laps complete. So clearly he's got something figured out. We'll see if some other guys are able to start to figure out the same thing and continue to pick off positions. Sam Boutwell, who we initially saw moving forward, now going in the wrong direction. Down 7 spots in total from where he started this race at. He's in 21st. And just behind him, the 22nd place running truck of David Traylor, who is up 3 spots in total. Carrying an onboard camera for us here tonight. Got the Mushroom Top T sponsor. Boy, we saw a good run from him last night over in the Force Asphalt Outlaw Racing Truck Series at Martinsville with the 3rd place finish. So he's got some momentum to work off there, but thinking maybe David was trying to practice setting up a little bit for a long run here. Didn't get the best qualifying effort. Starting back in 25th, so you know that didn't help his case. Matthew Fritz, surprising again to see the 29 this far back. I believe he was actually the winner at Auto Club last season here in the NOMA Truck Series. Point is, we know he's got a ton of speed at the 2-mile tracks. And so right now, another driver who has gone in the positive. I mean, he's up 5 positions from where he started, but still a little bit far back for his standards this portion in the race. But only 15 of 90 laps complete. Still plenty of time for things to happen. Plenty of time for things to develop and plenty of time to get through the lap traffic. Up front, it is still Joey Hickox being scored as your leader. He has officially led the most on the night here so far. Justin Bentley was fighting hard for a while in second, but things have shifted a little bit now. It's actually Joey's teammate Chase Greer who's moved into second before it's the first grandstand racing teammate running here tonight. Justin Parham in 3rd. Justin Bentley has fallen back to 4th. Wesley Phillips still on the charge, up 11 from where he started. He's in that 5th spot. And by the way, what you've noticed with the 46 is he's been rolling the bottom this whole time. Really has not had to go to the top too much yet, and he continues to pick up positions doing so. So we'll see if anybody else is taking notes right now about the line the 46 has been able to run and the progress he's been able to make. But now closing in here on the end of stage number 1. When they cross the stripe next time, it'll be 3 laps to go. Joey Hickox trying to hold them all off. We'll see if he can do just that. Taking a quick, brief look at the chat, if you will. Raymond Daniels Sr., good to see you in here. Nancy Hickox says, hello to race fans. Hope we have a good, fun night. Please hit the thumbs up. Join Mr. Manny Rays. Raymond Daniels in the chat. That's right. And Tower Operator says, let's go Winker Nation. Nancy says, sorry, Austin, forgot to say hello to you. Hey, Austin, thanks for broadcasting that we can watch our boys race. Absolutely, Nancy, good to see you in here. Good to see everybody else tuning in here on a Saturday night, 10:21 Eastern. Boy, a lot of great racing on track right now. I mean, you've just seen so many different grooves working and guys finding speed all the way from the bottom to the top of the racetrack. And I don't think that trend changes. I mean, again, it's nighttime here. We're under the bright lights. That means the grip level's at its highest. Oh, man. 53 Bill Hales, Keith Prince, maybe almost some contact there off of turn number 2 as things tightened up. But as the race goes on, I mean, track temp's probably not really going to go up much, if any. And so I think with that being the case, this is more so a battle of just maintaining track position. The 46, though, of Wesley Phillips, I mean, he is just continuing to impress. He picks up another spot, that time on the 19 of Justin Parham, who's going to try to duck back to the inside. 46 does get the preferred lane here if he can roll the momentum here down the straight. And notice what Wesley Phillips is doing. Right up behind Chase Greer there, but he ducks the nose down about half a lane lower. And He's just trying to get some clean air, get a little bit extra downforce in the front of 46. Contact out back. That 21 goes around. That was Richard Hurst. And into the inside wall he goes. No caution here as we're going to be coming to the white flag and stage 1. Richard Hurst is able to get back rolling, but the 21. Significant damage there to the left front and the front in general of his Chevy Silverado. And just like that, things change in a hurry for a couple drivers further back, and that is going to actually bring the caution out. At least I believe. Didn't think that was the end of the stage, that's for sure, as they had just completed lap 20. Unless they shuffled it around this season to where the lap stated is the lap of caution. We'll have a good idea on that by the end of lap 45, but with that caution coming out, this should secure Joey Hickox as your stage 1 winner, Chase Greer second, Wesley Phillips in third, Zach Stevens fourth, Justin Parham in fifth, Justin Bentley sixth, Bill Hales in seventh, Russ Kilgore eighth, Keith Prince ninth, and Mark Beverly rounding out your top 10 here on lap number 20. Let's go back and take a look at the contact for Richard Hurst. Looks like Mark Beverly is going to be the other truck involved. They were running side by side down the back here, and it's actually off of turn 2. Does Richard start just coming down? No. Looks like actually Mark Beverly comes up about a quarter to half a lane. And you wonder if he was just trying to get a little bit of a side draft there on Richard Hurst. I mean, if he was trying to drop in a gap behind the 21 truck, there really wasn't much of a gap. I mean, it's close if he checks up, but it's still going to be really tight. And so, again, wondering there if, since we were coming to the last lap in the stage, he was just going for a little bit of a side draft. But when they got that close, looked like there was maybe just a slight bit of netcode that sucked them together. And once that happened, I mean, there was just nothing the 21 could do but lock up the brakes and hold on as a driver at that point. There you go. Once he gets turned around, he's going to lock up the brakes, slides backwards. Tries to get it back rolling the right direction. Unfortunately, once it spins back around, rolls straight into the inside safer barrier. So Richard Hurst going to have to use, I don't know if it'll be quite fast pair worthy, but definitely a lot more damage than the 21 would have wanted to start this race with. And there's the initial view that we got of it from our cameras up here in the booth. That's a pretty hard shot. Lucky that no one else was involved in this, but that was the report we got in terms of what brought out the caution. This was Richard Hurst rolling slowly when the caution did come out, but don't see any further contact or incidents for the 21, so he did get a break with caution coming out when it did. But, of course, ending the stage cost him any chance at stage points. So Joey Hickox works his way into his pit box, as does the rest of the field. We're going to top off on fuel here, take 4 tires, get ready for the start of stage number 2. With that, we are going to take a quick break. We'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. And when we come back, we're going to get a quick interview with your stage 1 winner, Joey Hickox. We'll be right back at Auto Club. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the trial.
Oh, he gets in the lead on the record.
3x3 entering 4.
3 at the flag stand, side by side. It's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Auto Club. Lights are off on the pace cars. They worked their way off turn 2. That means we are getting ready to go back green. We're going to pull up your stage 1 here real quick for a quick interview. Hey, Joey, this is Austin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, stage 1 winner here. Truck's looking good early. How'd you feel about all the drafting action we had going on there in stage number 1?
I'm just glad I was out front, away from all the chaos. I know Jason was talking about it's pretty crazy back there. So, track position is key and clean air. We didn't even really burn off the right front there, so wasn't really having to push too hard. So we'll just see if we can keep it up here in this next stage. Maybe go for another stage win.
Looking good so far. We'll see if we're talking to you again here at the end of stage number 2. Thanks for talking to us.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
There you go. Said it was chaotic behind, and boy, he had that right. So clean air important, but again, not like some of the other tracks where you can just run away with it. By the way, looks like Richard Hurst letting us know in chat. Fortunately, he got a meatball from that last wreck, so that will be his first fast pair gone here early, but did not lose a lap to the 21. Still with a fighting chance. Green flag back in the air. Start of stage 2 is underway here in Hollywood. Good start for Joey Hickox. Chose the outside and looks like it was a good choice. He gets clear. Not only that, but his teammate Chase Greer is going to be able to slide up in line just in front of the 19 of Justin Parham as well. Parham going to go side by side now with Zach Stevens. They're going to try to bring a third Venom Racing truck. Oh man, blinking there off of turn number 2 for Zach Stevens. There was some contact between him and Justin Parham. As a result, they all save it. 2x2 a little bit further back to the first 5 or 6 single file out, and then 3 wide right now. Richard Hurst almost 4 wide even further back as they are trying to sort this thing out. Corey Buskirk on the inside. He's going to have to give way as now the 32 of Aiden Lund trying to pick off a position from the 13 of Derek Catt. He'll do that. Ronnie Morrison back there as well. Michael Lawrence, Matthew Fritz, everybody that's in the back half of the pack right now just scrambling to try to get back to the front. And as we now have 25 laps complete, remember the end of stage number 2 at lap 45, so that gives us just about 20 laps to go here in stage number 2. Not expecting any pit stops, but interesting to see right now that the 19 is heating up the back bumper of Chase Greer as hard as he is. You gotta wonder, is Chase trying to save a little bit of tire right now and manage the gap at the same time? Tough thing to do, especially when you got not only a teammate, but also somebody that's not a teammate racing you as hard as they are right now. He's trying to hold off Justin Parham on the outside, Zach Stevens on the inside. This time as they rock down the front stretch, Parham gives him a big push. Now he jumps to the outside. Can he get to the quarter panel? He can't. Chase Greer is going to be able to hold that position into turn number 1. And this is the 19 fighting to see if he can get up there and have a chance at the clean air. He saw how important it was for Joey Hickox and him being able to, of course, get that stage win in stage number 1. Wesley Phillips hasn't gone anywhere either, still sticking inside the top 5. Watch for him to continue to advance through this stage, especially towards the end of the stage. And then you got the 53 of Bill Hales, the 97 of Mark Beverly, and the 03 of Keith Prince. Those 2x2 just behind them, and now 2x2 battle shaping up between Russ Kilgore, Nick Wood, the 4 and the 02. Kevin Winker just behind them, and then it's David Traylor and the 9 of Riley Gomes side by side. 2 of the rookies last season, no, not rookies this season, of course. But up front, almost 3 wide. If Stevens can hold a run, nope. Parham going to pick off that position. Him and Chase Greer side by side. Parham with the preferred lane, though, down the back straightaway. Zach Stevens will give him a little shot. They both get clear the 8 of Chase Greer. And now you got to wonder, does that make Joey Hickox a sit and duck right now? How hard does Parham battling for this position? And how hard does Joey Hickox try to defend it? Parham with a run down the front stretch. You see Joey diving all the way down to the apron here. Anything he can do to break the draft, make his line around the racetrack the shortest way possible. But Justin Parham is now pulled within a truck's length, making a half a truck's length as they enter turn number 1 to the 3 truck. Just behind them, the 03 truck of Keith Prince slips a position back. The 53 of Bill Hales, the 97. Mark Beverly still side by side. Trailer, one of the few Toyotas that we have in the field. He's stuck side by side as well with the 31 of Jay Stinson and the 42 of Kevin Winker. And these two still trying to get it sorted out. But as Joey continues to lead up front, I know we're not that far into the season, but it's never too early to start looking at a couple of championship favorites. And honestly, I think 2 of the guys at this point in the season that you'd almost expect, if you will, to see in the championship again this season and as we did last season is Kenneth Redinger and Joey Hickox. Of course, Kenneth Redinger already with a couple wins on the season. Shouldn't come as too much of a shocker there, but then Joey Hickox, not a win just yet on the season, but still been showing a lot of speed so far. Showing a lot of speed here tonight, and of course, won the championship last season, so he's got momentum on his side. As Justin Parham is going to make the sweeping move down through turns 3 and 4. He was able to get clear off of turn number 4, and he takes the lead down the front stretch. Talking briefly about what points are looking like here tonight after, again, 3 races. This is after Legacy Atlanta. And right now leading in points. Again, this is only after the first 3 races for the moment, but it is Keith Prince, followed by Bill Hales, then Kenneth Redinger. Clinton Would be back in 4th, Jay Stinson 5th, Justin Bentley in 6th, and Joey Hickox right now in terms of the points standings, not nearly as far up as you would be expecting for the 3 truck this early in the season, but still a lot of racing to go, and still a lot of things that are going to change and play out as we work down the stretch and then, of course, into the latter portions of the season. Going back further in the pack, 2x2 and 3 wide action there between David Traylor and a couple others. Narrows back down to 2x2. The 9 of Riley Gomes on the inside of the 2 machine. J.R. Schauber just behind them. Sam Boutwell in the 47. That's the other Grandstand Racing teammate in the field here tonight. Kenneth Redinger not present. I know I was just mentioning him in points, but we do not see him making a start here tonight. So he'll be back hopefully next week and see what he can do at that point. The 63 of Brody Venti in front of Haas Beverly. The 29 of Matthew Fritz now starting to slowly crawl his way up to the field. He's up to 18th. That puts him up 10 spots from where he started this race at. Going to hopefully pick up another handful or so before we get to the end of stage number 2. Boy, the battling up front has been something to wonder at. I mean, we have had probably already 3 different lead changes just in this stage. First it was Joey Hickox, then Parham took the lead briefly. Hickox has taken it back, but Zach Stevens, Wesley Phillips, Mark Beverly all in the mix, and in fact, all the way back to 8th place, Russ Kilgore, throw him under a blanket. They are within a second of your leader. And remember that draft stretches back to probably about a second and a half, so if you're Russ Kilgore, you're in good shape, but even if you're a guy like Kevin Winker, Nick Wood, you're all still in line with that draft, so going to be able to stay up here close to the leader. And I have a feeling that Joey Hickox is going to have to fight a lot harder here over the course of these next 13 laps, 12 and a half now actually as they have to the back, if he wants to hold on here to victory for stage number 2. Wesley Phillips with another move to the inside, trying to make something happen. You see we got a little bit of a different view here tonight with the gearbox cam. This is looking out back at Mark Beverly. Beverly trying to work to the inside there. Stevens, he gets the run, and you saw that Wesley is actually able to get just about in front of Parham by the exit of the corner. The problem is, again, he doesn't roll any momentum down the front straightaway, at least in comparison to the 19 by being on the inside. So Parham, as long as he's able to keep that 46 from getting clear on the exit of the turn, as he does there, dives down, he knows he'll get the momentum on the straight, and they all continue to try to see if they can make a pass on Joey Hickox. Going to be 35 laps complete when they cross the line this next time. TK says, let's go 4X Racing. For the back in the field, we were watching all the action up front. Not quite as much action going on further back. At least right now, Michael Lawrence, company all lined up. Derek Catt, 28th. Now, it does look like Corey Buskirk may have had some sort of technical issue as he has retired his truck from the race, at least at the present moment. And Derek Catt in the 13, qualified in 22nd, has since slipped back to 28th. I think there's some struggles going on there for the 13 truck as well. Dylan Paul's in 27th. 26th is Michael Lawrence in the 12. Boy, these guys are going at it too as the 99 ducks to the inside. 37 with the run. The 32 of Aiden Lunn has to make a block on Joseph Fogg. Good to see Joseph back in the field here tonight. Haven't got to see him in quite a while as he makes his return and an appearance here tonight. See what he can do the rest of the way. It's been really interesting, though, some of the trucks that have struggled that we didn't expect to struggle coming into tonight, and then maybe a couple of the guys that had a lot more speed than maybe we were expecting here tonight. And now a couple others have made their way into this lead battle. Is now 3 wide for second. Parham on the outside of 46 of Wesley Phillips in the middle. Zach Stevens on the bottom. Stevens going to have to give way here down the backstretch. Mark Beverly pushing Justin Parham on the outside. 46 has to throw a little bit of a block now. They can go below that white line at any point on the racetrack here. And in real life, we do see guys do it quite a bit. Or we used to, of course, when Auto Club was still a track through 3 and 4. You'd go below that white line, take a shorter way around the racetrack. Not quite as much grip, but can make it work. But iRacing, and especially in the Truck Series, trucks don't like it when you go below the apron. So everybody keeping it on track right now. And then, of course, the apron transition in 1 and 2. It's It's a lot more abrasive than it is in 3 and 4, so you're not going to see anybody trying to jump on the apron there. Of course, down the front stretch, you can go below the apron, etc., etc. But how about now the top 5 starting to shuffle, actually about from second back to fourth is the shuffling. It's the 3, Joey Hickok, still leading, and he loves what he sees in his mirror right now, because the more that the 19 and the 46 continue to battle, the harder it's going to be for these two to get past the 3 truck, as you would expect. They will have used more tire at the time. Joey with another run down the front stretch. The 46 got clear of Parham, but they're still stacked too close together for him to be able to jump up a lane. And so Mark Beverly says, okay, I'll jump down, see if we can't get something rolling. And so now the 46, who's wrapping the white line on the bottom, still trying to get clear of Parham. He does so again, doesn't have any help this time from Mark Beverly. It looks like Beverly's going to slip back up in line just in front of the 8 of Chase Greer. By the way, again, quick shout out to everybody tuning in here tonight. You are watching the Blue Ridge Auto Group 180 in the NOMA Truck Series. 90 laps was the scheduled distance that we were to go here at Auto Club tonight. So far, it's been relatively smooth sailing. But up front, not the case anymore. Joey Hickox has surrendered the lead to Wesley Phillips in the 46. Boy, we saw how long Wesley had been working the bottom and working on Justin Parham, trying to do anything to get clear of the 19. He finally did. Looks like now going to try to take advantage now that he's got some clean air on the nose of his Ford F-150. That shuffles Joey Hickox back to second, Justin Parham third, Mark Beverly fourth, Bill Hales in fifth, the 8 of Chase Greer in sixth, Russ Kilgore seventh, Zach Stevens in eighth, Keith Prince ninth, and David Traylor rounding out your top 10. Riley Gomes back in 11th, Kevin Winker in 12th, Nick Wood 13th, Jay Stinson in 14th, Jared Schomburg 15th, Matthew Fritz in 16th, Haas Beverly 17th, Ryan Gomes 18th, Richard Hurst in 19th, and Justin Bentley rounding out your top 20. 40 laps now in the books, about 5 away from not only halfway, but the end of stage number 2. And for the first time tonight, we're seeing a guy that's actually starting to pull a little bit of distance here on the rest of the field. Big question now is what happened to Joey Hickox, who has now found himself all the way back to 8th. Got to think the 3 truck had some sort of slip up here to lose that many positions after running in the lead for quite some time. I'm thinking maybe this happens off of turn number 4. Let's go back, take a look here. Multiple guys start jumping. Oh no, it actually happens through 3 and 4, and he's just going to break the cushion here. He's running the top. Gets full throttle into the corner. The truck's just not turning. Front tires, they're worn out. He's been full throttle on the top for so long. And boy, again, it just does not turn, and as a result, you see, with as much momentum-based, or as momentum-based as this track is, he loses about a handful of spots there. Now he's going to have to fight back to see if he can even get a couple of these here before the end of stage number 2. Mark Beverly in the 97 has now pulled up to the back bumper of Wesley Phillips. After thinking he had pulled away for just a little bit, the 19, Justin Parham still in the mix. The 53 of Bill Hales, and the 8, Chase Greer. Rounding out your top 5, Russ Kilgore, Zach Stevens, Joey Hickox in 8th for the moment. Keith Prince and David Traylor going around the outside of Riley Gomes. And again, they do wrap up your top 10. Kevin Winker back in 12th right now. And the 42, Jay Stinson in 13th, Matthew Fritz 14th. This is the other battling we've got going on right now to the stage, as it looks like still 2 by 2. And Nancy says, is the number 3 going to pit early? Well, I'll tell you what, it's certainly a possibility. I don't know if it's the right strategy call, because tire's still pretty important here, and you don't want to necessarily get on an uneven tire strategy than the rest of the field in terms of having more worn tires than everybody else. So, yeah, you certainly could pit. I think you would have had to have made the pit stop either that last lap or this lap before the leaders crossed the stripe, which would, of course, be coming to 2 to go. But Joey Hickox chose not to pit there, and not too surprised. Don't think we're going to really see anybody most likely from the field pit. I just don't think it's the right call here. I think you just try to get whatever stage points you can and then go in for fuel. But yeah, certainly if you're trying to flip track position, it is certainly an option on the table. And now we noticed that the 16 of Justin Bentley actually fell back a little bit. You got to wonder, I think he may have made a pit stop. Yeah, Justin Bentley did, so maybe we do have a couple guys that are trying to flip the strategy book here a little bit. We'll have to find out, unless that was the actual issue for the 16, but we believe this is 2 laps to go. There's a chance it is the white flag, depending on if they throw the caution at the start of lap 45 or at the end of lap 45. But as it stands right now, it is still Wesley Phillips out in the lead. Hasn't led the most tonight, but since he was able to take the lead here in stage 2, he has yet to relinquish it. The 19 of Justin Parham still sitting patiently in second. Again, just kind of stalking in the footsteps right now, waiting to see if Wesley's going to make a mistake. Try to make the rookie crack under pressure rather. See if he can't make the move that way, but the caution doesn't come out this time. That this is going to be the white flag in stage number 2. Justin Parham trying to set up a run. We'll see if he can make this run work here before they get back to the stripes. The 19 tried to arc it down, as did the 53 of Bill Hales. 53's got to run. He's going to take a look to the inside here of Justin Parham down the backstretch. Further back, Mark Beverly, Chase Greer, and Zach Stevens. A lot of movement along with Joey Hickox. They're off of turn number 2. But the battle up front isn't going to be a battle much longer, at least not for the 46 of Wesley Phillips, because they're battling behind. And that is all he needs. Didn't get the stage 1 win, but kept moving through the field. And he's going to get the stage 2 win. Wesley Phillips gets the job done here in stage number 2 at Auto Club, bringing it home second. Photo finish, but it looks like it's going to go to Justin Parham, followed by Bill Hales, Chase Greer, Mark Beverly, Zach Stevens, Joey Hickox, Riley Gomes, Keith Prince, and David Traylor. Rounding out your top 10 here for stage number 2. So last scheduled caution of the night. Things have been clean since those two, or well, I guess I should say since that first caution until now, which is the second scheduled caution. So with that knowledge, everybody going to bring it back down to the pits. This will be another 4 tires and fill it up with fuel stop as we get ready for what's going to be the final stage here in Hollywood. Stick with us. We'll be right back at Auto Club, and we'll get an interview with your stage 2 winner, Wesley Phillips. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the trailer.
Oh, he gets in the lead under record.
3x3 entering 4.
3-2. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Back live at Auto Club Speedway, and we do have your stage 2 winner here in the booth, Wesley Phillips. Wesley, this is Austin. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear, man.
Well, you get the job done. I mean, the truck has looked really fast all night, but difference there, those 2 stages that we just had, 20 laps in distance just about for both of them. This one going to be a bit longer, almost double that. So how do you set yourself up for a chance to go to victory lane for the first time this season here tonight?
Back on the pace car. We're not going green this time. We are not going green.
far, so looking like we're probably going to have to split the stage up here. Some guys probably short pit, some guys running long. We'll see what happens here.
We certainly will now. Looking back on the speed and how you got the job done through stage 2 itself, I mean, you had to work your way all the way up to that first position through stage 1 and through stage 2. How did you kind of balance out tire management while also working towards the front in order to get that clean air?
Well, it seems that I'm the only person here that can really rip the bottom here on the bottom lane. It's a lot of work to get clear, but if you do it right, eventually you'll win out in the end.
Yeah, it certainly looked like it's been paying off so far. Well, we appreciate you giving us a couple quick words. We'll let you get back to it, and good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you much.
All right, there you go, Wesley Phillips. And I mean, he said what I know we kind of stated earlier, but it's true. It seems like he's been the main guy who's found a way to really work the bottom here tonight. And now here we go as we do get ready to go green this time. Note the laps completed. Going to be exactly 50, so that will give us exactly 41 laps to go here for the rest of this race. The Blue Ridge Auto Group 180. The final stage getting ready to get underway, expecting one more green flag pit stop if we can get to that point. Maybe somewhere right around the halfway mark. We'll have to see, though, if anybody decides to short pit or run it long. Green flag back in the air at Auto Club. How about a little crank it up? Here we go. Trouble and caution is out for the first time here tonight. Not a scheduled one either. We had a couple trucks go for a ride, including the 4 of Russ Kilgore, who is destroyed. Happened during the crank it up segment. You see damage there on the 2 of J.R. Schomber, who is making his first start of the season here tonight. Certainly not the outing he would have liked to have. Man, Kilgore is totaled. That's going to be his fast repair gone for sure in this wreck. Sam Boutwell in the 47 gets back rolling. Not sure how involved, if any, he was with this wreck. And then we noted the damage on the right front for J.R. Schomber. And it looks like this is going to initially start with Russ Kilgore, potentially Sam Boutwell. So here we go. The 4 truck. You see, this is on the straightaway running just behind the 32 of Aiden Lunn. And does he just get him in the back? Oh, no, the wreck starts way ahead. That's what it is. So it's actually the 2 and the 47, J.R. Schomber and Sam Boutwell, that are the first 2 that get turned around. Let's go back to them, and then I think the 4's going to end up clobbering the inside wall based off how he got all that damage and the damage he sustained on the first contact. So here we go, going to the chopper view. This is coming off of turn number 4, and there might have already been some contact between these 2. Watch the 2. It's on the inside. Oh, he had to have gotten loose. I mean, that was a big, big moment. Oh, he was all out of shape here coming through turns 3 and 4. This is on board with J.R. Schomber. Watch and take a listen. Yeah, he's trying to roll the bottom. He gets loose. Now he's trying to catch it, chasing it up the racetrack. And Sam Boutwell had been rolling the top. And they kind of just meet at that position. Boutwell, of course, not able to bail. He's not really expecting the 2 to wash all the way up the track once he gets loose. And again, it was a good save overall by Schomber, but he just ran out of room to save it pretty much as he gets up. The 0-2 of Nick Wood may have even given him a little bit of help there when he was going up the racetrack. And then there's the 47 of Sam Boutwell, just an innocent bystander. That gets him into the wall. As they both come off the wall, the 47 gets down into the 2 truck, which sends him back across the nose and again into the outside wall. And then on comes Russ Kilgore with nowhere to go, and then he takes a slide here, tags that inside wall. Hard hit. Comes back up on track. Lucky to not make contact with anybody else, but that was how the 4 got all of his damage. I want to take another view here first of the contact between J.R. Schomber and Sam Boutwell. This is from TV2. And watch the truck just snap on him. There's the first wiggle. He's trying to catch it. And now that he does catch it, the truck washes up the track. He's working the wheel, doing everything he can. Nick Woods trying to slide by the inside. I think he does. Nick may not actually make any contact. Nice job by the 0-2. But then here you go. This is the contact that ultimately leads to the wreck. And then here comes the 4 for Russ Kilgore, which is nowhere to go. There's the first hit. He's okay there. It's this one that's really going to do all the damage, as that's all concrete. And he gets all of it too. 45-degree hit to the left front. Again, it just destroys not only the front bumper, but also the suspension on the Ford truck, as there goes the front bumper, and then he slides back down as he's able to get it back rolling at least, so didn't have to worry about paying a tow bill. Just aggressive racing on the restarts, and more than that, not so much a racing deal as it, well, I mean, it's a racing deal, obviously, but looked to me just like cold tires and a guy trying to wrap the bottom, and you got to be careful on that first lap or two as the tires are still getting up to temps. When you wrap the bottom and you're asking a lot out of the back of the truck to follow the front nose. That time it just did not quite stick for him. So a couple guys that are going to have to go and fix damage, and we know at least one that's going to have to go in and use that fast repair. Russ Kilgore, who is now being scored back in 27th. Dylan Paul is the only truck behind him that's still out on track. There's a look at the 99 truck. But up front, as we get ready to go back green, it is now Justin Parham being scored as your leader. Wesley Phillips in second. Bill Hales third. Chase Greer in fourth. Zach Stevens 5th, Joey Hickox in 6th, Riley Gomes in 7th, David Traylor 8th, Jay Stinson in 9th, and Kevin Winker rounding out your top 10. Don't look now, but the Manny Rays Mafia Machine, 29 of Matthew Fritz, who's also carrying one of the newer sponsors for NOMA this season, M&M, has got himself just outside of the top 10, up 17 positions from where he started this race at. Your biggest mover in the field, second biggest mover, actually tied right now, is David Traylor in 8th. He is also up 17 positions from where he started. And then the second biggest mover in the field, shouldn't be a big shocker here, is Wesley Phillips in the 46, who is up 14 positions from where he started this race at tonight. All right, so now this is going to give us just under 36 laps to go. Actually, looks like it's going to be exactly 36 laps to go. So that green flag pit stop still in play. These guys aren't able to make it the rest of the way on fuel just yet, but each caution we get starts to narrow down that possibility. All right, here we go. The 46, Wesley Phillips on the inside, Justin Parham on the outside. Field in control, or the field in the hand of the 19 of Justin Parham, so he leads him back to green. Good restart is what he was able to do right there, as he'll get clear by 2 truck lengths on Wesley Phillips as they dive down into turn number 1. And now the 19 is going to arc it right back down to the inside. Wesley Phillips in the 46 will slide up in front of Bill Hales as Chase Greer and Joey Hickox try to stay to the inside. By the way, that is one of the 4-wide racing drivers. Going back to DC Motorsports, though, Bill Hales currently leading the charge for their team. Chase Greer for Venom Racing. Bill Hales, we just talked about him. Joey Hickox back in 5th, though, for Venom Racing as well. Zach Stevens. David Traylor up to 7th now. He's up 18 positions from where he started this race at. Already picked off another one there on the restart, looking to pick off a couple more, but side by side for the lead. Wesley Phillips on the inside, Parham on the outside. And normally, based off what we've seen tonight, we'd be saying Justin Parham's got the preferred lane, but the speed of 46 been able to roll around the bottom. I got to think they're about even here, and that's exactly what the case is going to be. Dead heat off at turn number 2, but the 19 starts to get rolling just a little bit better. The 8 of Chase Greer pulls alongside. And now he's going to think about 3 wide as he jumps to the top. Looking for a little bit of clean air. That's the battle. Ooh, almost a contact further back. Stevens, and I think it was Bill Hales, who almost bumped quarter panels. Boy, that would not have ended well. Now the 42, the 54, and the 53 are all going to get tandem up down the front stretch as a result of the stack up. Meanwhile, up top, I mean, look at this. You have got 3 trucks versus 1 on the bottom here. But the 46 of Wesley Phillips has just been so fast on the inside that he's still able to hold even because he's carrying enough momentum down the straights to do so. But now as Joey Hickox pulls himself right back up into the mix, Nancy said it best in chat, Venom Racing on the move. We saw this earlier with Joey's dominance in stage number 1, and of course getting the stage 1 win, and even through the early portions of stage number 2. And now he's back and looking to the outside here, the 46. The only thing, though, that I think we saw with Joey earlier that think may pay dividends to anybody running this inside, as it seemed like you were able to save just a little bit more tire in the long run by running the inside. You don't have to push the truck quite as much. And that's, of course, that trade-off between short run speed and long run speed. Whichever one you want is the decision that you have to make, and ultimately can determine how you're going to run the rest of this race. Side by side now to turn number 3. Joey taking a look to the inside. Dip the left side tires below the white line, trying anything to get clear Justin Parham before they get on exit. Not able to do so, and now Parham's going to lay it back to the door of Joey Hickox. He'll get a side draft down the front stretch, trying to get back clear, but the 3 truck looks like he's going to be able to hold even here down into turn number 1. So Hickox arcs it down. Parham, though, playing a lot of very aggressive defense here. Now, I know that's almost a little bit of an oxymoron, but that's exactly what he's doing. He's playing defense by running the outside, but he's pinching it on the door of Joey Hickox to make the job for Joey that much harder in terms of trying to make a clean pass here on the 19. And so now that he's gotten back clear, he'll jump back to the bottom, and it's the 46 of Wesley Phillips this time who's going to try to top. Chase Greer and Jay Stinson going at it. That's the battle for 4th. Just behind them, we've got even more battling as Bill Hales is going to try to get back clear of Riley Gomes. This is the battle for 7th at the moment. Just behind them, the battle for 9th between Kevin Winker and David Traylor. Matthew Fritz still sitting back at 11th for now. Hasn't been able to get by just yet, but if these guys stay 2 and 3 wide and their momentum stalls out, 29 might have a shot to pick off at least 1 or 2 of them in just one corner. He's going to get the 42 down the back straightaway. Now he sets his sights on David Traylor. Keith Prince just behind the 29 right now. He's looking for a couple teammates, actually. Matthew Fritz, that is. And there's a couple just in front of him there. You saw Zach Stevens in the 33 being one of them. And now 61 laps complete. 61 laps complete, rather. That puts us at 30 laps to go. Here, the Blue Ridge Auto Group 180 at Auto Club Speedway. Again, I'll give a quick shout out to anybody tuning in here tonight. We appreciate you being here, watching the NOMA Truck Series action on Ghost Racing Network. Boy, what an action-packed night it's been, and a very clean one at that. I mean, the racing's been great, and the fact that it's all stayed green just about is even better. The only caution we've had that wasn't for a stage break was the caution there at the start of the stage 1, now stage number 3. And that was just a racing incident. A little bit of a struggle on cold tires, but since we went back green from that caution, it has been all clean the rest of the way. And that pit window, I believe, is going to open probably somewhere right around 20 laps to go. Or at least I think as a driver, that's where you would comfortably be willing to pit. So we're still about, 18 laps away from that point. Or excuse me, I think the backman said we're about 8 laps away from that point. But we'll see if anybody decides to try to cut it a little bit earlier than that. And I mean, if you need track position, short pitting is never a bad idea. It's your best way to regain that track position. But you run the risk of losing even more positioning in the long run by being on what's going to be the older tires by the end of the race. Now, speaking of tires and tire wear, look at the lap times right now. Again, this is not even that much fall off yet, but I mean, just over the course of the last 5 laps for Justin Parham, from a 40.2 all the way now to what's been running a 40.7. That's almost half a second worth of fall off, at least for Justin Parham in just the last handful of laps rather. So it's certainly shown you that tires are important, and they do wear out here, as Wesley Phillips is going to pose another challenge here as he jumps to the inside of Parham through 3 and 4. And if he can get clear, watch for him to try to slide up in front of the nose of the 19. Can't quite do it that time, but he does still run really good momentum down the straight. Side by side behind them, but they've actually broken away from the draft here just a little bit. Make it by about half a second over Chase Greer in the 8, who's leading that second group on the bottom. Joey Hickox leads the top of that group. He's got a teammate on his inside and behind him with Stinson and Greer. Riley Gomes, David Traylor starting to make a run to the front. Traylor, by the way, is now up 18 positions. The 9's going to go around. Riley Gomes goes for a spin, slams the inside wall. No caution. We stay green for now. Now the caution's out. And now this could make fuel strategy a little bit more interesting, as this caution comes out with exactly 26 laps to go. So this is certainly going to shake some things up in terms of if you pit, if you don't pit. But before we do that, let's take a look here at what causes the 9 Riley Gomes to go around. We talked about him and Traylor. I thought they were working together here I think David's going to try to split, and that's where things all go wrong. 54 takes a look to the inside. Looked like initially the 9 thought about a block. Trailer says, okay, I'll go a lane lower. And then just looks like, I mean, just looks to me, honestly, like David just kind of starts to work his way back up the track right there. Certainly nothing malicious there. But, I mean, if we keep an eye on the seams, the 9 may have been slightly coming down, but certainly looks a lot more like the 54 was coming up the track. And he may have just been going for a side draft, maybe didn't quite realize they were 3 wide. And a slight movement up was all it took for him to hook the 9. And then that sends Riley Gomes down to the inside wall. Almost a carbon copy of where and how we saw Richard Hurst hit the wall earlier, but the 9 is going to tank slap with the right side instead. And then he is able to get back rolling, but it's going to give him some damage that he's certainly going to have to go in to get fixed. A couple more views here for Riley Gomes. I apologize. Meant to go back here a little bit further. And watch this. I mean, look, it's just ever so slight. You see the 54 slightly creeping up, and then again, the 9 may have been slightly creeping down as well. Just 2 guys kind of going for the same piece of real estate. Once the contact is made, though, there's no going back. The 9's holding on at this point, trying to minimize damage, but that's a pretty solid hit. There's a chance this could take the fast repair for Riley Gomes, depending on just how bad it is when he took it down to the pits. So he's in there now, as is the rest of the field just about, as everybody tops off on fuel. Taking 4 tires here as well, potentially getting set up for what's going to be this 25 lap to go run to the finish. So up front right now, it is Brody Benty being scored as your leader, Justin Parham second, Chase Greer in third, Chase Stinson fourth, and Joey Hickox in fifth. We are going to take another quick break, but we will be right back, and we'll go side by side so you don't miss a thing. Stick with us at Auto Club. Front, now we're going to see a little 4-wide action.
Crazy out of the trailer.
Oh, he gets over it into the lead under record.
3x3 entering 4.
3 deep. At the flag stand, side by side, it's going to be Jason Maines winning it at Talladega. Welcome back to the Blue Ridge Auto Group 180 from Auto Club Speedway. Getting ready for what could potentially be the final restart of the night. It's going to come with 23 laps to go. Brody Benty with a strategy call finds himself up front. Going to have the field in his hand here for the restart. Justin Parham on the outside, first truck on fresh tires. Full fuel, Chase Greer in third, Jay Stinson fourth. Joey Hickox fifth. Again, fuel close, 75%. Don't know the exact laps. We'll see if it's enough for these guys to make it all the way. Green flag back in the air. It's a good jump for the 63 truck. He's going to get clear before we even cross the stripe. He'll jump up. We'll see how long the 63 can hold on to the lead with these slightly older tires than the rest of the field. And boy, he got stuck on the outside. Parham not going to waste too much time here. In fact, he's going to jump to the middle as Chase Greer takes the bottom. Sliding up again, everybody on cold tires. These first 2 laps still a little bit sketchy as everybody tries to get those tires up to temp. Track temp still staying nice and cool as it was at the start of the race at 72 degrees. Speed still as high as they're going to be all night, as now everybody's pushing for all their worth. Brody Benting continues to fade, but caution's out. Trouble out back. More trouble now. The 21's in it. The 2's going to go for a spin. Richard Hurst, J.R. Schomburg, potentially a couple others here. 13 of Derek Catt, Bill Hales down to the pits. So all of a sudden here, a couple quick cautions continues to add turmoil to the strategy of this race. Now the good news though for anybody who didn't like strategy is if it was close beforehand, everybody is definitely going to be good to go on fuel now once this caution is done. If you pit and top off, it may even be good if you stay out here and just do a little bit of saving. So let's go back and see how this one gets sparked up. There's the 21. It's going to start ahead of him. We know that much. So, oh my goodness, the 53 of Bill Hales. Whatever he hit it extraordinarily hard, the back of the truck. And it's got to, oh no, he's going to get hit. Ooh, this might be similar to what we saw earlier. Does he get some help here from Joey Hickox, or does he just get loose? Well, he's certainly getting loose. I mean, he's already out of shape right there, and then as he's trying to save it, that's when Joey Hickox tags him in the back bumper, not able to check up in time. The 3 truck goes up the track. He's able to avoid Keith Prince, and almost everybody avoids Bill Hales, but Matthew Fritz, nowhere to go, tags him. And then as the 29 washes up, that gets him into the 16 of Justin Bentley, who gets into Ryan Gomes. And they see the 2 there of J.R. Schomburg with nowhere to go as well. So just another product of the cold tires, again with the 53 getting loose here initially. And then once Joey rolled onto the scene, there was just nowhere to go. Same deal for Matthew Fritz. Wow, Aiden Lund. I don't know how he missed that one. He came flying in there, looked like a dart without feathers, but somehow was able to just shoot to the right side of a spinning 53 truck. And he did tag the outside wall, but he certainly still minimized the damage that he would have received had he not done this. So watch this. He's going to see the wreck. Gets on the brakes, but the 53 slides up, and he's got a choice. Makes the choice, and then more of a secondary wreck in front of him. He's able to avoid that one as well. Want to take 1 or 2 more angles of this here on the initial spin for Bill Hales. So there's the contact that sends him around, and when Joey washes up again, really lucky that him and Keith Prince didn't get together any worse than they did, or didn't make any contact rather, because it was certainly a really, really close call. And then give you one more view here from TV2. And I think maybe he saves that if Joey isn't as close as he is. But again, I mean, everybody's racing. It's nothing against Joey. It's just one of those things that where, you know, everybody thinks if you get on the brakes in these trucks, it's just that simple. It's not. And especially when you're focused on a line or maybe a point in the corner to try to get your truck to rotate. And when a checkup happens that big, I'm telling you, the truck does not do it full justice. Once he gets turned here, he slides 90 degrees, and then everybody sneaking by, and then there's the on-rushing Matthew Fritz, who had absolutely nowhere to go. That's just history. All right. So as we go back live up front, lights on the pace car off, means we're getting ready to go back green. Justin Parham being scored as your leader. Things have cycled back out a little bit more correctly now with Brody Benty, the odd man out, if you will, in terms of tire strategy. No longer on the front row. Jay Stinson second, Chase Greer third, Wesley Phillips fourth, Keith Prince fifth, and and Joey Hickox in sixth. So your top 3 rows here are going to be the guys being the most aggressive right off the start. And so it'll be a 19-lap shootout. Again, everybody good to go on fuel. This is all about, do you save any time? I mean, it's basically at this point almost like we're just running stage number 1 back from where we started. So we saw how much speed guys like Joey Hickox, Wesley Phillips, Justin Parham have had in the short run. You throw a couple of wild cards into the mix now. First time we're seeing them towards the front here tonight. Front row, if you will. That's Jay Stinson in the 31, Keith Prince in the 03 as well. But they've still been running in the top 10 tonight. So now it's all about a battle track position for the rest of the way. Here we go back into the restart zone.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag back in the air at Auto Club. Good start for the 19 of Justin Parham. Jay Stinson not quite through the gears as quickly as he would have liked, but he'll stay even with Wesley Phillips. down into turn number 1. And right now, Justin Parham is hoping that they start getting it battling out back quickly. One thing that he knows is he is not going to be able to run away from this pack here. I mean, he's going to stay within arm's reach. All he can do is try to maybe snake the draft, as you saw him doing on the straightaway, and just try to take the airway in the corners. Any of the other guys, Jay Stinson going to take the outside, the 46. Wesley Phillips, the inside. 2x2 action further back. Zach Stevens along with Keith Prince. Prince looking 3 wide in the middle down the front stretch. He's got the momentum to do it. Needs a little bit of drafting help. Kevin Winker looking to arrive on scene to the aid of his teammate, but he won't. He'll jump back up to cover the run from Matthew Fritz. 18 laps now to go. Jay Stinson still ripping the top. The 19 back to the bottom. He's trying to hold off every lane is now. Oh man, the 3 and the 46 slid up. Joey Hickox almost gets into the wall, as does the 42. They are fanning out all over the place. Now Jay Stinson going to look back down to the inside. Side by side, trying to get clear. He's going to do so. Can he slide up, though, on exit? He does. Watch for Parham to have a crossover. He'll have some momentum down the straightaway. And Jay Stinson's going to duck back down to the bottom, trying to defend. Everybody follows the big snake-like draft down the wide front stretch here at Auto Club. Parham looking for a move back to the inside through turn 1. Jay tried the crossover, or excuse me, tried the slide job through 3 and 4. Now Parham's going to do the same. And he may get too clear here. What a move from Wesley Phillips. Not quite able to slide up in front of the 31 of Jay Stinson, but able to get to the inside. Russ Kilgore 3 wide out back with David Traylor and a couple others. That's the 37 of Joseph Fogg. Aiden Lund, the 32, just in front of these two. By the way, he's up 8 spots from where he started this race at. But all eyes still fixated on the front of the field, which is where all the action's been at up to this point. And I believe, looked like, based off the chat, Richard Hurst thought was maybe going to hop up in the booth here with us for a little bit, but I do not see him in here at the moment. But nonetheless, you saw he got a meatball from that last wreck, so the 21 tonight has come to an official end. He joins Corey Buskirk wrecking on the front stretch, Keith Prince on the back stretch, rather. Prince went around. There was one other collected in. I think it was Jay Stinson. Sure enough, Jay Stinson in the 31 and Keith Prince in the 03. The 03 is destroyed. Keith Prince is going to have to pay a tow bill on this one. There is no way that truck's going to be able to get back rolling. And yeah, it indeed is in. He takes that thing immediately to the pits. That was a huge hit for Keith Prince. Just looking at the stats and getting ready to go back to the front of the field when these two got together. And what ultimately led to the damage that we saw on the front of the 3 truck. Let's see exactly how this one starts up. Going from the chopper view. Watch as they exit turn number 2 here. You see Stinson on the top. And I think, he's going to try to make a move to the inside of Wesley Phillips. Wesley jumps up last second. He's clear, but not by much. Jay's going to try to jump back to the inside, but Keith Prince is there. And unfortunately, that's going to get the 03 truck turned straight down towards the inside wall. Oh, he hits just about the weirdest area you could possibly hit. I have never seen something like that. It shoots the truck backwards. And so he almost ends up just about back where he first started the wreck at. Let's go first to the onboard view here for Jay Stinson to this wreck and show you exactly what I'm talking about. And I think once he had committed down the racetrack the way he did, there was just no way he was going to be able to get back control and not get into Keith Prince. And here's the onboard view. So he's running the top here, doesn't see the 46. Now he sees him. 46 slides up last second. Jay's trying to shoot the gap, and yeah, I mean, I think that's really all it comes down to. Watch where Keith Prince hits the wall right here. I have never seen something like that. There's a little tire barrier that you see, and this will give us a better view of it. It sits right where he hits this wall at. So instead of hitting the wall and bouncing off of it, he's going to hit the front of this tire barrier, and it just shoots him straight backwards. And, of course, destroys the front of that truck. As he slides backward, you see Jay Stinson still sliding at this point. Not sure, does he end up tagging the inside wall here? He doesn't, as he's able to get just past that tire barrier where the wall goes a bit further. And so he's got enough racetrack to save the truck and keep from getting any damage. But yeah, Keith Prince definitely gets the bad end of the stick on this one. So that's a tough break for the 03 machine. What a wild hit, though, for Keith Prince. Still have never seen something like that. And all the time that we've been broadcasting the NOMA Truck Series, we'll have to go to the onboard here for Keith Prince as well. as there's the shocking blow literally as it shot the car backwards on contact for Keith Prince. Again, we're going to give you one more view of this here from the roll bar. Here we go. You heard it immediately blow the motor in that truck as well. So as we go back up front, lights on the pace car are still on. Hopefully they go off this time. That would mean 1 to go signal. Going to put us at a restart with it's looking like probably right around 12 laps to go here as we get ready to wrap this thing up here for the night. Again, if you're just tuning in, we certainly appreciate you being here. It's been a fun one up to this point. I think it's going to be a fun one the rest of the way. But I'll tell you what, we'll get a chance. Let's pull up Richard Hurst, see what he's thought about this race. For unfortunately, his day came to an end early. All right, hey Richard, this is Austin. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, unfortunately, the night came to an end much earlier than you would have liked, but you had a chance to be out there in the pack, in all the action. What'd you think of the racing here at Auto Club so far?
Auto Club is always a fun track, and, you know, we were running pretty good. But, unfortunately, we got, you know, we had a little bit of contact with 97 and sent us to the back, and after being sent to the back, it's pretty much all about track position. So that last incident, it was just unfortunate. You know, I didn't see Ryan really check up. I thought he was just going to roll right on through, and I was going to go right behind him, and we got contact and another meatball.
Certainly an unfortunate circumstance, but I mean, now you got a chance to at least take a breather and just watch all the action. Don't have to worry about the stress in it anymore. I think I got my money here on the 46, Wesley Phillips. He's been looking strong. Going to see if he can get the job done right here. You got a favorite?
You know, I have to agree. The 46 has a lot of momentum. The 31 had a lot of momentum, but it looks like he's been involved in a couple incidents. You know, Justin Parham looking really strong too, so I wouldn't count him out.
Certainly wouldn't. Green flag back in the air. 12 laps to go here at Auto Club. Good restart for the 19 and the 46. Both of those trucks going to jump up to the outside line. 3 wide back in row number 3. The 16 of Justin Bentley looking for positions here on the late restart. He'll get clear of the 9 of Riley Gomes. Looking to see if he could pick off the 4 of Russ Kilgore as well. Both of those trucks, remember, 2 guys that showed a lot of speed last week, got involved in a little bit of trouble at some point in this race and had to work their way back to the front. And now that they've done so, it is all about fighting for every spot you can get at this point. But when everybody's full throttle, it's going to be a lot harder to make those passes, and it would not hurt to find a buddy here because we've seen just how fast a tandem could be. Oh, wrecking out back. Looks like Joey Hickox hard into the outside wall. Zach Stevens now hard into the outside wall. And Hickox all torn up. The 42 of Kevin Winker went for a slide as well, but it looks like it is the 3 truck who gets the worst of this one. I believe he might have to tow. Now this will put us in a restart with less than 10 laps to go. So we'll go back and break this one down. Joey Hickox, who again had a phenomenal run through stage 1 and the early portions of stage 2, had been still hanging around the top 10, top 5 region for most of the night and was looking like he was going to have a good shot at contending for a podium finish here at the end, but I wonder if this is going to be a product of cold tires. We already saw it a couple different times here tonight with a couple different drivers, and looks like the 3 truck is going to be another victim. Back end just starts coming around on him there, and then as he goes to save it, Nick Wood arrives on scene. He's got nowhere to go, and he's going to hit the right rear bumper of Joey Hickox. That turns him hard into the outside safer barrier, and then now it's just a mad scramble as everybody tries to miss him. Nick Wood able to get through, and you saw Kevin Winker actually dodges the spinning 0-2, but then he gets clipped by Matthew Fritz, who had nowhere to go. Zach Stevens and Fritz are going to get tangled up, and that ultimately sends a 33 into the outside wall. Then after that, a couple of close calls, but everybody else was able to dodge this one. Go back to TV1 here. Look at this hit for Joey Hickox. Man, all 4 tires off the ground for just a split second, but tears the front end and the fenders off of that race truck, and then Winker almost got upside down as you saw the truck, all the weight shift to the left side, and then the back end of his 42 Chevy Silverado tags the outside concrete as well. And Joey's going to go for a slide here. Dylan Paws with a close call, a couple others. Ryan Gomes And then the 12 there of Michael Lawrence, he's going to sneak by without any further issue. So this caution going to shuffle some things up, at least in the front of the pack, or maybe the top 5 portion of the pack. No real change in the lead, though. Justin Parham still being scored as your leader. He will lead the field back to green for this restart. Russ Kilgore in second. Justin Bentley in third. Bill Hales fourth. Riley Gomes fifth. Chase Greer in sixth. Sam Boutwell seventh. Mark Beverly eighth. Haas Beverly in ninth. And David Traylor currently rounding out your top 10. I'll tell you what, Russ Kilgore has just continued to impress. Not only this week, but continued to impress, or excuse me, was impressive last week. Continuing to impress this week. I'd really like to get an interview with him. It doesn't look like he is currently in any of the Discord channels, so we're going to go to the next best thing a little bit further back, and we're going to see if we can get a quick word here with the 9 machine of Riley Gomes before we go back green. Hey Riley, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got a copy. What's up?
Well, 9 laps to go, but when we go back green, going to be 8 officially. It's going to be a little bit of a late restart here, but still some time to make some moves. How do you feel about your shot to win this thing as you're going to be starting back in the 6th position?
I was feeling pretty good till we went around, and then I think we're sitting on a little bit older tires than the boys behind us, and we got some fast guys behind us. So I honestly think it's going to be a, try to hold them off, and honestly, fingers crossed another caution comes out and buys us some time up here.
Well, the big question, speaking of if another caution comes out at this point, do you have a tire set sitting in the pits? And if you do you take it, or is it all about staying out and going for track position the rest of the way?
I think it's going to be track position. I think if we come in, there's not going to be enough time. I think the boys that came in the last group, they'll probably stay out, and I don't think that'd be enough time to get by them, but we'll see. Anything can happen.
Certainly can. We're still looking for the first career win here in the NOMA Truck Series. Good luck. We'll see if you've got the speed to get it done here.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Austin.
All right, that's one of the Trackside Motorsports drivers. We have got a good restart on tap for you right here. Things have gotten a little bit, I don't want to say, we'll say just things have gotten a little bit messy rather towards the end of this race. A couple late cautions, but I mean really every caution we've had tonight has just been something related to cold tires. A guy going around on the first lap for most of these restarts. We'll see if they're all able to get it sorted out and hold on to it here. This is going to be 8 laps to go. Highest aggression level of the night, and another good restart for Justin Parham. He's going to be able to pull out to a quick lead here. Jumps in front of Russ Kilgore on the outside. And now we're going to see him move to the inside here. The 16 of Justin Bentley. 3 wide on the inside. Bill Hales, 3rd lane up. 16's got to get clear of the 4 right here. He's able to do just that. Now he'll tuck in line behind Justin Parham. Off of turn 2, the top 5 all single filed out. Beverly, though, not able to jump up in line as Chase Greer is going to drag race to his outside. Bentley going for the move on the inside here into turn number 3. We saw a couple other guys try this move on Parham earlier. It worked. The 19's driving it through the corner. The 16, he tried the slide job. He gave it everything he had there. He couldn't quite make it work. On the positive end, it did get the 19 a little bit tight. He had to move up the track. Now he's moving back down the track. The battle for the side draft is on down the front straightaway. But the help is on the outside, so Parham able to draw back even nose to nose, going down into turn number 1. And this time he's going to put it further on the door. The 16 doesn't want him to have any chance of getting clear. A little bit of bumping and banging right now. 2x2 though. Russ Kilgore maybe with a shot to make a move as the 16 tries to jump back in line behind the 19. They will be coming to 6 laps to go this time. Remember, we have to make it all the way to the white flag for this race to be considered official. And Russ Kilgore still doing everything he can. But how about Mark Beverly? Where did he come from here late in the going? Is a little bit of trouble out back, and caution going to come back out as we got a couple in the grass here. The 46 of Wesley Phillips and Nick Wood in the 02. Looks like may have been the only 2 involved. No, Riley Gomes, believe he had some trouble in this one as well. It's 19, or the 9 rather, I believe, went through the grass on the front stretch. Not sure exactly how this one started. Of course, we had the cameras at the front of the field watching all the action up front. But now this will give us a restart, potentially with right around... This might give us a natural green light checkered with 2 laps to go. Maybe 3, depending on how quick they're able to get this one cleaned up and get these guys back going. But this is coming onto the front straightaway here. We're going to go to the blimp cam. There's the 46 of Wesley Phillips, who had a bunch of speed all night, but finds himself towards the back of the pack here. And, ooh, Nick Wood. Looks like gets up the track just a little bit. Trying to figure out, did he get some help from the 13? This may have been a bit of a chain reaction. Watch the 13 of Derek Cat, that red and blue truck, just about the middle of your screen. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Derek Cat starts to come down the racetrack, but boy, this is a really odd look. This is almost like a double netcode, or a netcode and contact at the same time. So watch the 13 again. He's coming down the racetrack here. Looks to me like the 02 is also sliding up. Those two are going to meet in the middle here and make some contact, but right as they make contact, you can see that the 02 isn't hitting the 46 of Wesley Phillips in the left rear, but it certainly makes it look that way with the way the 46 gets shot around. And then once he loses it, gets down into the grass, gets into the 02, and that's going to send him back almost onto the racing surface. Does a good job saving it, though, and not coming back up into traffic. I'm just trying to see here. Oh, Riley Gomes, and this was actually on the front, or going into turn number 1. There was some more trouble here as the caution had already came out to the 69 to 37. Ooh, just a bit of a check up there as the caution came out. Joseph Fogg got into Ronnie Morrison, and that sent him down into Riley Gomes. But they'll do a really nice job of gathering it up right there, so there's no further incident with the leaders. But that was, again, a really interesting look and a tough break again for Wesley Phillips, who had been having a career night, to say the least, here tonight. And yeah, there was definitely some left rear netcode in that one, but you know, no real damage on the 46 truck, so he's good in that aspect. Problem is, though, he's going to lose track position that he was, of course, trying to gain, and it's going to tick off more laps that he really would have needed to try to pick up some of that track position. So as we go back live up front, Justin Parham still being scored as your leader, Justin Bentley in second. I have a feeling that the Justin and Justin show is going to be a pretty exciting one here all the way down to the finish. Mark Beverly in third, Russ Kilgore fourth, Chase Greer fifth, Bill Hales in sixth, David Traylor seventh, Sam Boutwell in eighth, Riley Gomes in ninth, and Ronnie Morrison rounding out your top 10. Well, things are starting to get a little crazy here at the end, Richard. I mean, I feel like we got to kind of expect it. We know cautions breed cautions, but it's going to give us a really late restart here, and all of a sudden, as I just mentioned, looking like this may come down to the Justin and Justin show. And looks like actually Richard has left the booth. So I am talking to a brick wall. I know he hopped in with us for a little bit. We appreciate that. But it looks like he has decided to hop out for now and watch the rest of this thing from the stands. So some good insight there, though, from Richard Hurst. Again, we appreciate him jumping up there briefly when he did. But, you know, just in mentioning this battle right here, Bentley came so close last week. And he's, you know, I don't think he's wanting to be a bridesmaid 2 times in a row when he's had this much short run speed in a scenario just like this, and one that we saw the same deal last week with, of course, at Atlanta. So I think Bentley's going to try to maybe set this move up to get clear by enough, but he's not going to give the 19 much wiggle room, and Parham expecting the same, not going to give Bentley much room to work either. Guess the good news here for anybody that needs track position, though, is they are going to get 1 extra lap here added on to the natural green-white checker, because it's going to be 3 laps to go. So these guys got to make it around this 2-mile D-shaped oval 2 laps before this thing will be declared official. Well, if you're just tuning in, you've picked the right time to do so. 3-lap shootout to decide a winner in Hollywood. Green flag going to be back in the air as soon as Parham hits the restart zone. Here we go. 2 laps to go at Auto Club. Good restart again for the 19 on the inside. Justin Bentley, not quite as much speed carried into turn 1, but he's going to be able to keep clear of Russ Kilgore. We'll see. Does he try to beat the 19 here on exit, or does he drop in line? Looks like he's going to try to drag race him onto the back straightaway. It'll be 2 laps to go if they make it around next time. Right now, both lanes pretty even. Maybe a little bit more help actually on the inside, but not for long. Beverly still down on the bottom. Parham's going to have to put it on his door. And further back, 3-4 wide action. Everybody fanning out, trying to pick off whatever they can at this point. Bentley able to get a nose out in front, but down the front stretch, the 19 with some momentum. It's a race to the back bumper of the truck in front. Russ Kilgore is going to get the push first. That'll give Justin Parham a little bit of momentum down into turn number 1. Bentley still rolling the inside, though. He's been able to hang even. He's got to think about pulling a slide job here. I don't think he'll have the momentum on that last lap if they stay side by side. But Mark Beverly continues to do a good job of pushing the 16. Question is does he stay there, or does he get a little bit eager, try to make the 3-wide move? He's going to make the 3-wide move, the 97 to the inside. That'll slide the 16 and the 19 up the track. Russ Kilgore watching all this out of his windshield. What a move by Beverly. Now he's going to throw the rock on Bentley. They're wrecking out back. Caution is out. Huge hit for Justin Bentley in the outside wall. Now Bill Hales goes around. 47 of Boutwell's in it. Russ Kilgore's in it. The 22 of Haas Beverly's in it. The 55 of Gomes. This one's a mess. This collects about half the field. Well, we almost made it, but instead we end up with the big one. Again, now this will send us to our first overtime of the night. And boy, there's a few different things, if you will, to break down through this one. We're going to try to hit them all here before we go back green. So let's go back first and take a look at the initial incident. It's going to bring out the caution. And that's what it is right there. Kevin Winker and Riley Gomes. 3 wide. Everybody just really going for it at this point. And, I mean, it's tight quarters racing here at Auto Club. Even though the track's wide, when you get 3 wide, there's still not going to be a ton of room to work. And you see the 42 in the middle there, Riley Gomes. It's just hard racing. I mean, again, one of those things where I think Gomes is maybe slightly sliding up. You know, you wonder, is Winker slightly coming down here? Now, let's see. Maybe a little bit of both. There might have actually been a little bit of right rear net code there as well, which is what actually I think turns the 9 around. I'm not sure if they were ever actually making any contact. But then once the contact is indeed made, we'll see if this view gives us any better of a look. So they're 3 wide, and yeah, the 9 just slightly moving up. But once that contact's made, sends them across the nose of the 42. Pretty hard shot into the outside wall. There goes the 63 of Brody Benty. Dylan Paws, nowhere to go. Zach Stevens, he's going to get involved. Matthew Fritz misses the first contact, but then he's going to get turned around in the second contact. Wesley Phillips, he gets turned. And so this one in of itself already collects about 7 or 8 trucks. Derek Catt trying to slide through, but nowhere to go. It's going to clip the 29. Haas Beverly misses it initially. Unfortunately, that's not going to last too long here as he gets collected by the 2 of Schomburg. And he goes for a spin here down towards the inside wall. Collects Joey Hickox. But then the second wreck, which we saw up front, which collects one of the big hitters here tonight with Justin Bentley, who was having such a good run. Man, you hate to see it for the 16. Been doing everything right there at the end, making the right moves, but this was after the caution had already came out. Now, these two have been racing hard, and looks like Justin Bentley's going to try to make a 3-wide move back on the 97 after the 97 split him. And, you know, right here he's clear. He's clear for a split second. He's got to jump up, and he's got to take it immediately. I think he hesitates just a little bit, and Trailer's there by that point. And so then makes contact with the right rear rather, and that sends him up hard into the outside wall. Russ Kilgore nowhere to go. Bill Hales gets hooked. Innocent victim in this as well. Kilgore's going to take another hard shot, similar to the hit he took earlier to the inside wall. This time, though, doesn't have that fast pair to bounce back on, so this will bring his night to an end. So as they wreck hard out back, they're going to wreck hard in the front as well right here. Bentley, huge hit. Again, all 4 tires off the ground. And then the 69, the 37 are all going to somehow sneak through this thing. So then, see, he slides back down through the grass. Let's go to an onboard view here with Russ Kilgore. He unfortunately saw this one develop and then was involved in this one. So that finishes off his truck and will bring his night to an end. But again, it does set us up for the first overtime here on the night. And we're getting ready to go green. The lights on the pace car are off as it works its way through turn 3 and 4. And now a little bit of a new setup. Still Justin Parham being scored as your leader. He chose the top. But now you've got Mark Beverly second, Chase Greer third, David Trailer fourth, Ronnie Morrison in fifth, Bill Hales in sixth, Jay Stinson seventh, Joseph Fogg eighth, Joey Hickox ninth, and Aiden Lunn, the rookie, up 14 positions to where he started. Rounding out your top 10. Here we go. Overtime number 1. If they make it to the white flag, the race will be official. If not, we'll rack them up and try it again. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go at Auto Club. Good start for Justin Parham. He's got these things down to, well, he's mastered them at this point. I mean, he's got so much practice that he's able to pull away to about a 2 truck length lead down into turn number 1. And that lead will disintegrate here before we get to the white flag because the draft too strong, and when the tires are this new, boy, Parham is going to have to work for it here. I'm wondering if Beverly has got slightly better tires with the run he was able to get there through 1 and 2. Going to duck to the inside. Parham is going to have to put it on his door here through 3 and 4. Half a lap to go here to make it to the white flag to make this race official. David Traylor sends the 19 off into the corner, trying to keep him even. The 19 and Mark Beverly not able to get clear, so they will stay in a drag race all the way to the start-finish line. White flag is in the air. 1 lap to go at Auto Club. And right now, David Traylor might be in the catbird seat, still pushing Justin Parham, but Mark Beverly on the bottom is going to keep these two side by side. And if you're Traylor, do you go for the hero move? Do you wait for these guys to slip up, or do you try to push one of them clear? Looks like right now he's going to stay committed to the outside line with Justin Parham. He's able to get the 19 clear. Can he get himself clear as well before turn 3? Can't quite do it. Parham dives down to the bottom. The 97 will draw even with the 54. Looking for one more run out of 4. Is it enough? Traylor's got a draft. He's got to run. He's going to make one more move to the inside. It'll be a drag race all the way to the line, but Parham, is he going to hold on? Traylor? No. Justin Parham holds on by less than 100th of a second at the start-finish line. Actually make it 300ths. Parham squeaks it out at the end, but it was a race that he showed a ton of speed in the second half of. What a finish, but David Traylor unfortunately comes up just a bit short again. Well, he set the move up right. Wasn't the move I was expecting him to make, but it looked like it was going to work out. But, man, he comes up just a little bit short. What a win, though, for Justin Parham at a night where Grandstand Racing was a little bit undermanned, if you will. And he still finds a way to pull this thing out before. Actually, we'll go back and look at the finish in just a moment. We'll let Parham do some celebrations as we take a look at your finishing results here on the night. And your official winner by just, actually, it was a little bit under 300ths of a second, was Justin Parham in what is now 2 weeks in a row been a photo finish. Bringing home second place, David Traylor. Third is Mark Beverly. Fourth, Chase Greer. Ronnie Morrison in fifth. Joey Hickox in sixth. Chase Stinson in seventh. Aiden Lund eighth. Brody Benty in ninth. And Kevin Winker rounding out your top 10. Wesley Phillips 11th. Joseph Fogg in 12th. Michael Lawrence 13th. Derek Catt in 14th. Matthew Fritz in 15th with Haas Beverly back in 16th. Keith Prince 17th. And Nick Wood in 18th. Bill Hales 19th. Rounding out your top 20 tonight, Sam Boutwell in the 47 truck. Riley Gomes finishes 21st. J.R. Schomburg 22nd. Ryan Gomes in 23rd. Dylan Paulus 24th. Russ Kilgore 25th. Justin Bentley in 26th. Zach Stevens 27th with Richard Hurst in 28th. And Corey Buskirk rounding out the field tonight. He finishes in 29th. All right, well, of course, we're going to go get your top 3 in here for interviews. But before we do that, we have got to go back and take a look at this finish because, again, it was one for the books here. Second best finish of the season now, of course, alongside Atlanta. But, I mean, I thought for sure that Traylor was going to try to make a 3-wide move on the back. He didn't. That's because he knew something that I didn't here. He was able to get the 19 clear, set up the run so that he stayed on the outside. And, boy, when they hit the front stretch here, I'm telling you, this thing got really, really close here. So watch, he sets up the run here on the outside, dives to the inside here. He's got to run, dives all the way down to the apron, but I think Parham had just enough momentum here to carry down the front stretch and hold him off. But, I mean, look at the start-finish line here. I mean, if we have about another, I don't know, 100, 200 yards, maybe there's a different outcome. That's just how close this thing was. And, of course, Traylor was pulling the gap there towards the end, closing the gap, rather, but, boy, just unfortunately ran out of racetrack to get the job done. What a win for Justin Parham. All right, we're going to go get your top 3 in here for interviews. Stick with us. We will be right back at Auto Club. All right, back live at Auto Club Speedway. Going to start first tonight with your third place finisher, Mark Beverly. Mark, this is Austin in the booth. Got a copy.
What's up, Austin?
Well, boy, you gave it a shot there at the end. Things don't quite work out, but you still bring home a podium finish. Tell us a little bit about your night and how, or if you think there was anything you could have done different right there at the end.
Well, the night was pretty wild. Went back and from the front to the back to the front a couple times, so that was fun. It's always a good track here. You can move everywhere. As far as the end, I just felt like I just needed one person to kind of give me a little shove. I would have been all right. I had a little bit newer tires than the 19, but I just couldn't clear them because I needed some help on the straights. But it is what it is. I'll take a P3 after that craziness, I guess.
Certainly a good finish, to say the least. And I mean, it's a 2-mile oval. Last week we were at a 1.5-mile track, pretty much the bread and butter of the NOMA Truck Series. But we keep seeing you put together these consistent finishes. Do you have a track in mind that you've got circled on the schedule of where you think you're going to grab that first win of the season at?
Well, it's kind of open here. I really like this track. Michigan, if we go to Michigan at all, I really like that. Yeah. And maybe Charlotte. Charlotte's pretty fun for me too. So we'll circle those couple.
Be keeping an eye. Good run here tonight. But before we let you head out, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Jay, Joey, all the guys here that put this league on. It's real fun. Shout out to you. Always put on a good show for us, and everybody out there watching.
All right. And thank you for talking to us again. Congrats on the third place finish, and we'll see you out here next week.
Copy that. Thanks.
All right. And now that brings us to your second place finisher, David Traylor. David, this is Austin in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you, Austin.
Well, second again. Man, you come up just 0.02 of a second short. But, boy, you provided a great finish. Tell us a little bit about the mindset and the setup for that move that you made off of 4. And if there was anything you wish you could have done a little different there.
Well, after the last caution right there, when we had the coming to the green white checkered, I really wanted to be on the outside. I knew I could make about the middle lane stick, almost wide open, but I had to go to the inside. Luckily, I was able to get a good jump on the 8, and kind of coming off 2, and I saw the 97 and the 19 slide a little bit, so I knew they weren't as comfortable as I was. So I from that point on, I pretty much told myself don't lift. And I didn't lift until we came to 4 on the white flag lap. It started to get a little loose. I had to burp it just a hair, and I think that was the difference. I maybe could have tried to get a little closer, a little more draft on him, but I didn't want to. I didn't want to hit him. I didn't want to wreck him. I wanted to be as clean as possible. So I don't know what else I could have done. I tried. Came from 25th after a horrible qualifying effort. So overall, it's another second, like you said.
Well, maybe not the best qualifying effort, but a good finishing result at the very least. So before we let you head out tonight, is there anyone you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, first, actually, I want to apologize to Riley. We were 3 wide there on the backstretch in the middle of the race, and I got into him, and that kind of put us both in a bad spot, and I apologize to him. So, but thanks to my teammates over here, Dylan, Brody, and Bill. We tried a couple different things. We all went to the front. We all went to the back. We all came back to the front. So, had a good run overall as a team. Shout out to the guys over at NOMA, Jay and Joey, for putting this league on. They run a great show over here on Saturday nights. It's always fun to come in here and do. Thanks to JC Newman, and then Mushroom Top Tea is on the truck again this week. A friend of mine runs that company. It's a great tea company for whatever you're feeling. They've pretty much got what you need. Shout out to you, broadcasting over on Ghost Racing Network. Always a great show. I love going back and watching it. I went back and watched a race today, actually. So, and then thanks to my dad watching at home and my fiance in the living room.
All right, and thank you for talking to us again. Congrats on the second place finish. I know it wasn't a win, but another good finish, and we'll see if you can get the job done next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Austin.
All right, now that brings us to your winner here on the night, Justin Parham. Justin, this is Austin in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, man, you get the win here tonight, and we talked about it during the broadcast. Grandstand Racing a little bit undermanned tonight, but you still carry the torch for the team by getting the win here tonight. But, man, what a stressful sequence of cautions there that we had towards the end of the race. But, I mean, overall, break us down the strategy that you used to get that track position and then how you were able to hold on to it through all the cautions, and especially there at the end in that overtime finish.
Just there at the beginning, it was just a slow go, just slowly moving up, trying not to do anything, no mistakes. It's kind of hard to pass there at the beginning. Everybody's wanting to run the high side, and then you'd try to go low. But when you went to slide up, they was there. Somebody done filled the gap. When you got later into the race, as it got moved up a little farther, then I was able to start diming in the corner. And I was able to keep the lead pretty good like that. And I was trying to protect the outside. They could have the inside because I could run down there with them and kind of keep them pinched so I could get the run down the straightaways. And, it was pretty much just doing that the whole race there to stay up front. Then there at the end with the cautions, that was a little scary because that one caution, almost the whole field pitted. And left like 5 or 6 of us out there. So they had, I think, like 10, 15, close to 10, 15 lap fresher tires than we did. So the stretch of cautions there at the end might have actually helped a little bit. I don't know how it would have done on the long run if we would have had a 15 lap run.
Well, it worked out as you capture your first win of the season here tonight, and already 2 wins on the season now for Grandstand Racing. With that, you are the winner tonight. Before you go celebrate, though, is there anyone you'd like to thank or shout out?
Just a team for doing this every week and letting us get out there and run.
All right, absolutely. And thank you for talking to us. Again, congrats on the win here tonight. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, Elson.
All right, there you go. Justin Parham, your race winner here tonight. That is going to wrap up our coverage for the Blue Ridge Auto Group 180 here tonight. And what a good one it was. 2 weeks of photo finishes. What more can you ask for? We'll be back same time, same broadcasting network next week. A little bit of a different track, though. Stay tuned for that. As for tonight, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. That'll do it for me, Austin Green, here on Ghost Racing Network. Until next time, have a good night.